The BMW i3 in the updated range version. That is today in Autogefühl, your number one resource for in-depth car reviews and your number one community to discuss cars with Thomas. We're going to take a detailed look on the exterior. Interior, give you great advice on the different interior trims that are available, and of course the driving experience with this truly visionary vehicle. It's not completely new, but it looks like it would just have a race to the market. Of course, we'll give you everything about the philosophy of BMW i, and especially here the i3 will be truly very interesting review here on Autogefühl in Full HD, full screen and full length. Let's go! You can still get the old version, but doesn't really make any sense. If you pick such a BMW i3, of course you pick the biggest battery that is available. In Germany it starts at about 35,000 euros, US 42,000 euros, and over 5,000 pieces have been sold in Germany so far. That's not too much, but at the moment it's giving a little boost, for example, because the governmental benefits that have been introduced just a year ago, they mainly account for the BMW i3. So the most people that are taking the benefits, 4,000 euros benefits from the government in Germany, well, it's 2,000 from the manufacturer, 2,000 from the government then effectively. Mainly the people pick the BMW i3 then, because obviously this car here, with this strong BMW design in front, without, with a double kidney, but with a closed double kidney, obviously it's so unique that it attracts a lot of people and say, this is my dream electric vehicle. It is pretty unique. Talking about design, even more the side profile is very controversial. Adaptive LED lights here, optional pick, but those ones are equipped here because the test vehicles are usually equipped with almost everything the manufacturers have. Just 4 meters or 13'1" is the total length of the BMW i3, so it's truly a short car, small car segment, same length than the Seat Ibiza, for example. And it's so way different. 19 or 20-inch rims, those ones are the 19-inch, and they have those covers which do not look sporty at all, but they are really cutting off the wind, so it's more efficient. Also the tires are very small. You will even see that better soon in the rear perspective. Really small tires to reduce the rolling resistance. Here in my favorite BMW i3 color, it's surely something like a Thomas blue, a bright blue color. I just love that. And then this is so controversial because the car is relatively high, it looks a little bit bulky, but some love it. It's really a love or hate car, especially here this design line for the rear doors. And there's of course more to it because they open in a reverse direction, more to that in the interior part. Here the design line drops down, and that is not, a very clean design. So they played around with it a little bit. And also interesting, the small antenna here. I've heard that a lot of cats are attracted by that and play around with it, and so those antennas get broken quite often. That's maybe the Autogefühl trivia fact for today. And here is, by the way, you can access the electric charging right here, open it. And if we would have the version with the range extender, then we would have another fuel opening right here for the 650 ccm motorcycle engine that is fitted then with this one here, increasing the range to 150 kilometers plus. But as the new electric range is supposed to have 300 kilometers in Europe or 115 miles or 114 miles in US, realistically something in between those two effects, obviously we do not necessarily need the range extender anymore. And also the range extender puts more weight to the car. Usually the weight is about 1,300 kilograms, very light. We'll soon also show you why. So you've seen in the side profile there's a visual illusion that the roof is flying because we have the black glass here everywhere. Well, it is of course not really flying, but it looks like it would be, and that is continuing to the rear right there. And also the tail lights, they look just like they would have been painted because they are covered behind the whole glass panel. So a very interesting design here also in the rear. You see also the top part is smaller than the bottom part. There's another design play, for we could call it that way. eDrive logo here as well. And by the way, the number plate always have an E in the last letter in the German license plate when you have a plug-in hybrid or an electric vehicle. It has also something to do with taxes. And of course, there's no exhaust at all. So, I mean, from the rear, I think I found it very interesting overall, but I can really say it's not my design favorite. Is it yours? Well, the engine has a calculated power of 170 horsepower, 7.2 seconds acceleration to 100 kilometers or 62 miles an hour. But in the front there is no engine, and because the battery is placed in the lower part, and everything else, electric parts, they are rather hidden. Here in the front you have just space for cables. This is the normal household plug. Then the second cable is here, the Type 2 cable, and you have it all in this bag that you have here. At least, you know, some order, for example, and you know, why not? It's a good idea to place it in the front, then you can always access it easily. And the charging, we've shown you here again in detail, Type 2 normal, and also the second standard right there, so you have both available, and it will also be illuminated right here by this light. So many things are different with this vehicle. Also the key, very slim, different from other BMW keys, but with the same setup. This, by the way, to open the trunk, the front for the cables, closing, opening. And here the door handles are also different. You see they open the other way around. Really funny. So inside of the doors, great cloth is being used here, for example, and then you can also see the recycled materials or the sustainable materials which are used here. This Kenneth, it's related to hemp, so it's basically plant fiber, and it's good that they're being used here, something different again. And if you look at the chassis at the bottom, this is the carbon fiber chassis, and one of the reasons why this car is only about 1,300 kilograms in weight. So this carbon fiber technology is costing them so much money in the development, so they've really invested a lot. And then take a look at this interior. It's really amazing. You can already see it right here now, because here, this is the special thing, this lounge atmosphere. The other doors here, the rear doors, are opening in a reverse way. Passengers can easier access the rear. We'll soon test that out, but the advantage is if you want to get your kids out then for school, for example, you always have to get out yourself. Well, that is the disadvantage. Then take a look at the color combination in the seat. The seat here, brown animal skin and dark open cell wood. Electric vehicle and animal skin seats, that doesn't really work sustainable wise, but they still offer it. This one is called Suite in Europe or Germany, and Terra World in the US, brown animal skin. Then there's so-called Lodge or Giga World in the US, that is bright animal skin. And then there are two trim levels we would recommend because they fit to the sustainable vehicle. One is called Loft or Mega World. That one then comes with grey cloth elements on the seat in combination then with bright leather red, so artificial leather. That one is a sustainable function. I would probably, it's the most, the most sustainable, at the same time, most attractive visual-wise. And then there's also the entry level called Atelier in Germany or in the EU, or Deca World in the US, and that one just was come with black or dark cloth seats. So again, Deca World or Mega World for the US, or Atelier and Loft for EU, for Germany. Those ones are really great. And then I would also recommend you to go for, you can already see the wood elements. Those open sale eucalyptus wood is also available in a bright trim, and that looks even more spectacular. But I mean, you could talk hours about this interior here. The steering wheel is also different. The blue BMW logo here fits to the rest of the scheme also. The screen here seems to fly a little bit in the air when you're sitting in the chair. Here you can see how it is really attached. Also the big screen in the middle, you can already see it from here. That one also seems to be a little bit freely attached. Interesting concept, 10.2 inch, the middle screen. So this is so unique from the interior and really visionary, and that's the way, I just love it, especially then in the two sustainable trim levels. That's such a new approach to interiors. I think that's also where more and more cars are heading in the future. Wow, what a shot, what a great perspective on the interior. And then let's get inside. Shoe tab, of course, because, well, the floor mats, they go all around the car basically. I mean, in the front and in the rear. So it's good that you have no middle tunnels, so it's all freely. But then again, you have to put out the whole floor mats and always from the left to the right to clean them. That's of course a disadvantage then. You can adjust the steering wheel to all four directions. Very well done. It's funny that the shifting stick is directly combined. 1.86 m or 6'1", so this also, especially in the front, suitable for tall people, no problem. The seating position is a little bit higher, a little bit like in an SUV, and you have this easy access, of course. Then again, the disadvantage again that you have to always close the rear door first and then the front doors. You have to surely remember that, otherwise it might get a little bit expensive then in the repairs. Overall, a very comfortable seating position. You can see that the front part comes a little more towards you, so you have a lot of room to the front windscreen. I'm a little bit mixed about that. So it looks spectacular. It also creates this van-style travel feeling, but then again, it also disconnects you a little bit with another part of the car. So I'm not really sure. I think I have to get used to it a little bit. But again, it's really unique, like everything else about this car. And then if we directly get in the rear, well, you can actually flip the seat here. So you have an easier entry right there, like this. But as you have this wide open entry to the suicide doors, how you also call it, you don't even need it. You can just get in pretty easily, even without flipping the seats. That's the advantage again of those doors here. And well, knee room wise, the thing is, when you have a tall driver, you would hit your knees here, but you can put them a little bit sideways, for example, because here in the rear you also have space to move around. So that's actually not a problem. Headroom wise, I do fit here. I think the maximum would be 1.90 m or 6'2". You sit a little bit, falling behind here. But I mean, it's a relatively small vehicle. But then you can see that also in the front we lose some space, because let's remember the new Seat Ibiza, for example, which has the same length and has, like this more knee room. So that is not, the best result. Also the Honda Jazz, for example, has better result for the package you have here for the rear passengers. But then again, as you have no middle tunnel, you can move around here. So for shorter trips with 4 adults, that's not a problem. Other than that, children also, we get ISOFIX fixations here on the 2 outer seats. So that would work as well. And we can also flip the seats right here from here with the strap. So you can flip them like this in a half split. And here again, this cockpit overview, again, from my perspective, also this here seems to fly, just the big screen. and really just looks amazing. And it's not a really clean, elegant design because you have a lot of different elements, but it's amazing, really. And especially the open cell wood here, and again, this one is also from sustainable sources, unlike the animal skin, and it feels so great and natural. That's just a very cozy feeling. This is also the glove box, by the way. You can flip it up so it doesn't go with flipping down. Got the handbook here, right there, for example. And then you can see again, for example, here this shifting stick. You put it forward for the D mode, reverse behind, and you start also the electric engine by that. Volume is right here. Well, those are hotkeys, for example. You don't really need them, I think. More important that you have the climate unit right here with the temperature mode. And where do you see in the screen where the air is coming from? Well, inside this small glass, so don't search for it in the big screen. Seat heating, AC, all possible here. Then again, this huge room in the front, also again with this kind of material, with this plant-based material. I think it looks really good. Some might say, you know, it looks to be like a recycled material. I think it's also something special again, and more different materials are evolving for interiors. Also maybe stone, like we covered with Fossia, one of the suppliers, not for the BMW i3, but for a lot of Audi or also Alpha models. And it's really amazing what else is coming up there one by one. So this is really an interior you could look hours at. And some details here, as I told you earlier, or you shouldn't press it actually. Here you can change the temperature right there, and then there is the display where the air is coming from. I was searching that at first. Those are the instruments for the driver. The lower right displays the range, and then you will also see, for example, if you're recuperating or hammering the power. The central display is again controlled by a pressing and turning button in the middle console. And here, for example, in the eDrive, you will have that activated when you drive the car. You can check out how the battery is recuperating and so on. This is the basic menu, telephone connection via Bluetooth, very easy, for example. And the GPS, as we also know from other BMWs, for example, it reacts pretty fast, so that's nice. Well, not if you zoom in too fast. So here we go, and a good visualization really here of Germany, and overall I'm pretty satisfied with the system. Sometimes the menus could be a little bit better, you know, easier to reach the deep menus, and you have to go quite deep in there sometimes. Oh, that's not my music. But overall, I think it does the job and also has a good visualization. So in front of the beverage holder, you can see that just you know, no middle tunnel. That's the big advantage. Also some, you know, to fix something. Then big beverage holders here in the middle. It's not really adaptive, but it's, you know, high enough to hold different size of bottles. Then that's the way I control the infotainment screen, also with some hotkeys. Comfort and Eco Pro modes, well, they don't make too much of a difference. In the Eco mode, the recuperation is a little bit harder, and also with Eco Pro then the AC is being shut off to have more range even. And electric parking brake is right here. And below this adjustable armrest, you can find another beverage holder, or also USB port aux in and the 12-volt power supply. The hatch, here we go, and you know, pretty square-like, and that's, you know, also basically good. Enough room. Of course, we also have small vehicles that have enough more space, especially because the battery here is placed below that, and that of course limits the space in the height. You can also flip the seats from here. It's a little bit hidden, like those straps, and push them like this, and then you have this half split. Again, you can also flip the other one, and so you're a little bit more versatile. So it's also a practical electric vehicle for sure. So here we go with our driving part, and this car definitely belongs to the city. And so we're starting in the city, and as it's just 4 meters long, so very short car, 13'1". It's also not that wide. You're feeling perfectly fine in the city, and also the steering is very light, easy to control. It's still not that unnatural in the feeling, so that you still have a good BMW feeling. And here there's already a second feature. As soon as I leave off the gas, the throttle, the car recuperates and comes to a stop, and this creates this so-called one pedal driving or one pedal feeling. So when you're getting used to it a little bit, you actually do not need the brake pedal, just in emergency case when you really have to reduce your speed. Other than that, it's a very easy driving, 0 to 100 kilometers or to 62 miles an hour is 7.2 seconds, and it's even faster, of course, in comparison also to other cars with like 0 to 50 something like, or kilometers, or 0 to 30 miles, because this electric engine has the torque just right from the beginning, and that's really an amazing feeling, and therefore this car is also so much fun to drive. And here, wow, a go-kart feeling, how direct, how arcade-like, racing style, you can almost say, is that steering. So it is light enough for the city, but it also reacts immediately. And I mean, when you look at this car from the outside, some really do not like the design. Some love it, some hate it. So it's, I think, rather love or hate. But the thing that everyone has in common when looking at that car is really no one would expect it to be that sporty, and especially in the city. It's like, Michelle also has a lot of fun here as co-driver. So you change the lanes, you see, it's a narrow spot, and then bam, there we go, and great steering and superb acceleration. Someone's trying to catch up. It's really so much fun to drive this car, although it looks rather clumsy from the outside, I have to admit still. But I mean, it's a unique styling, that's for sure. And the styling also grows on you a little bit, I have to say. And I mean, especially inside the city, when you have a lot of cornering and stuff, and here again, corner, accelerating again, that is so much fun, really great. And I mean, look at the acceleration, for example. Let's see, what about 30 to 80, something like this, which can happen. For example, now we're going on the motorway, 30, and let's go now. Watch out, Michelle, watch out. Have to warn, very powerful car. Bam, 80, 90 already. So wow, this is a sports car acceleration, and you just hear the and then here we go. So going on the motorway, of course, the electric vehicles so far are not the most suitable ones for long motorway rides due to the range, of course. I mean, it works basically if you have enough chance to charge the car. Also, it's not getting too loud in here. It's a small vehicle, but there's a lot of air here, a lot of room here in the front. So there might be some vehicles that have better insulation against the wind, but I mean, it's also pretty efficient, this vehicle. As for the wind channel, I had to pay attention to that. So you can also have some motorway rides, no problem. Also from 100 to 120, you can still accelerate. It's really no problem. So 120 is also still a good speed for that vehicle, but of course not like 160 and really long motorway rides. That's not the best for this one here. And then if you have a lot of speed, just release the throttle and the car decelerates almost automatically. And then we also see in the middle display then that the energy is coming back to us. And then you learn to time actually the driving a little bit. That, for example, now I went off the throttle a little bit too early, and the longer you drive the car again, now it was also uphill, you really learn how to drive this car even more efficient. And that's also, it's really something that is fun. So when you talk about, oh, driving efficient is so boring, no, especially when you have such a vehicle, it can really be fun. Also something like a challenge. And I haven't used the brake pedal yet, so this stresses again this one pedal feeling. And it's also so unique also when being in a city that you have so much room in front of us. You have to get used to it, definitely, but it also creates, while driving, this lounge feeling, a lounge atmosphere. And although you have a very small car, you feel a little bit like being in your own living room, and that's what they also intended to have here. Here, green light, if I hammer the throttle, I'm just gone, and no one behind us can follow us. Even some heavy sports cars, they would have had no chance from traffic light to traffic light against me. Of course, then again, talking about efficiency, it's even better if you keep it slowly. Range updated now, so about 140, 120 miles is the official range now, or 300 kilometers. Why do they differ? Why can't you calculate those range directly from kilometers to miles? Because the testing cycles in the US and in Europe are different, actually. What is the real range? I think always something in between those two cycles. And it so much depends on the terrain, uphill, downhill, recuperation, yes, no, possible, temperature, outside, your driving style. So, I mean, effectively, that you can be really certain at the moment. I think if you take like one quarter to 1/3 of the official given range, for example, from the EU cycle, and deduct it, then you usually end up with the real range you have. And of course, then it's important that we have more and more range of the electric vehicles, that we also have the effective range in an acceptable way. And at the moment, the car also calculates how was the driver driving this car before, and then it shows me, for example, at the moment about 170 kilometers left of range. And it changes, however, if you, for example, say, you drive a little calmer, then also the new recalculation works. You can, I mean, it's so much fun to have this car in slalom, also due to the small wheelbase. It's really a little bit like riding a go-kart, and that is again the strange or even funny thing about this vehicle. It still has an agile BMW feeling, even though it does not look like it. Also, overview, car's short, you can see what's behind you, what's next to you, big windows, so you have basically a good overview to all the sides. You have a secure feeling. You're gonna, now I have to use the brake a little bit, just a little bit. Also in the front, in the small screen, I can also see if I'm charging the vehicle or if I'm using some of the power then again. So you have both possibilities then, and both screens, they seem to fly a little bit in the air. It's also a really funny experience while driving the car. So there's really so much unique about this car. Of course, people can also criticize some stuff, sure. I mean, why not? We can always talk about it. But no matter if you love or hate this vehicle, it is surely unique and one of the visionary vehicles on the market at the moment. So overall, I think the most important thing is that it's really fun to drive this vehicle. I love driving electric cars. It's also so silent, so you can really relax. You can have fun in a sporty ride, but also, just enjoy calmness. Maybe do not even turn on the music. You just hear the cars next to you, and you don't hear anything about your own car. And that's also, where we're heading to. What's really important, of course. So here now going down here, I just have to press the throttle just a little bit. That I'm not really accelerating, but just I don't let the recuperation start. So if you press the pedal just a little bit, it remains, let's say, neutral. So you, as soon as you lift the pedal completely, then already the recuperation starts again. And you see also this shifting stick here. It's really funny because when I go reverse, I have to put it backwards, and then I can also see the rear view camera with a good resolution and a good overview. That surely helps. And here again, you see how easy it is to steer. then you press forward for the D mode again. And I really wonder, maybe it would have been better the other way around. Let's say like D mode. Yeah, come on. Let's do it again here. So here again, the easy handling, also narrow situations. So I think I would have expected when you press forward, then it's the reverse gear, and backward the D. That's also how it is usually with the shifting levers. You know, why not? You can even go in neutral here also while driving, and nothing is happening, and you can go to D again, just also while having the foot on the throttle. That's also no problem for this electric engine. And the P mode is above that, so if you want to park the vehicle. So the electric vehicles here are also good to enjoy nature and stuff, looking around you, because it's silent. You have more, you know, more desire to see and hear and something else. Also when driving with lowered windows, for example, and also when I'm driving in this neighborhood here at the moment, I don't annoy anyone with, you know, a loud sports exhaust sound or something like that, or this so-called nailing from a diesel. That's, you know, pleasing to everyone. 19-inch rims, comfort-wise, totally okay. I wouldn't go for the 20-inch necessarily. 19-inch leaves a little bit more dampening from the tires for sure. And I think the suspension is comfortable enough, but still we got this sporty handling, right? And I can stress that again. I mean, close your eyes. Maybe if the car would sit just a little lower, and you would really think it's a true sports car. Of course, you sit a little bit higher here. It is almost a little bit SUV-alike, I would say, from the seating position. Also have this panoramic windscreen that you can see everything here. So especially driving-wise, I can take so much positive things about this vehicle. Yeah, the suspension is really rather sporty. So sometimes when we have some potholes, for example, it can get almost a little bit rough. So for an electric vehicle, it's definitely also a sporty one, and again, almost deceiving. The look is really almost deceiving. Here, by the way, if you want to turn quite fast here to the reverse gear again, it's so easy to switch the gears, and here back again, force up, so easy to do that. Good acceleration. You feel so light, so agile. So when you drive this car, you feel 10 years younger yourself. It's something like switching shoes, you know, switching into a sports shoe, into a sneaker suddenly, and you feel yourself younger again. That's what's also happening with this car, with the whole image, with the whole spirit this car is actually surrounding. And I think this is again also what inspires people to go for this vehicle, because this vehicle is not only about a rational choice, it's also about you know, an own philosophy. And now to our conclusion, BMW i3 with the updated range. It was time to update the range for sure. And I think it is really, well, it can always be more from the range for sure. But it is now in an acceptable region, and you know, approximately the same than with the Volkswagen Golf facelift, for example. And I think the BMW i3 and the you know, Volkswagen Golf facelift, the e-Golf, are one of those very attractive electric vehicles if you want something premium feeling, premium-like. If you just look, you know, at the price-performance ratio, then we also have offers like, for example, the Nissan Leaf or the Renault Zoe have even more range, and especially the updated Renault, and are even cheaper if you consider that. From the exterior, it's really love or hate, I would say, but definitely unique, and I love that blue color at least. The interior, I really love the interior. It's such a great style, such a great lounge atmosphere, and I really hope that more and more automotive interiors go in that direction. But of course, especially with the electric vehicles, do not pick the two top trim levels which feature animal skin if you want a sustainable car. But BMW offers enough alternatives, not for the steering wheel yet, but again, 2 trim levels with either fabric or also the cloth leatherette mix. And we see also, for example, the sustainable wood resource there, or also those recycled materials. The whole car can be recycled to about 10%, which is also more than with classic vehicles. So it's from 10% recycled materials. That's the way around. And of course, can also be recycled afterwards. But with the battery, that's also another topic, because yes, electric vehicles are very important, especially for the cities, to get down the fine dust. And so, of course, that remains the question what we do with the batteries afterwards. Can we, for example, combine 50 car batteries and make it as an energy reserve, which then comes from sustainable energy? Such concepts have to evolve. So far, it is really important that we get the fumes outside the cities, and the BMW i3 can also help by doing that. Driving wise, it's so much fun. It's not a compromise. It's really sporty BMW, even though it does not really look like it. So again, conclusion is, even though a couple of years after its release, it's still, on the top of the game. Basically, it's really still a visionary car. And I think it's very important that this car exists here, because it also can have more impact on the other manufacturers. Thank you so much for watching Autogefühl. Give us your opinion on the BMW i3 and also maybe of the competitors in the electric vehicle segment. Of course, we'll keep you updated with any other car news. Thank you so much for watching. Tune in again next time.